kind of after that. All right. So bottom line is the subject is how to get the peace of God. That's the focus. So that gives you some uh understanding where we want to go. And don't forget, we always talk about, you remember Nehemiah 8:8, but we talk about making sense and understanding God's word. So they read in the book, in the law of God distinctly, and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading. So what we're doing in our study is doing that, right? We're trying to get sense, make sense and understanding of the word for ourselves and those who listen. And that's where we're at today. And so right now, let's see here. Could you read that for me?
Okay. 2 Corinthians 10:3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
Come on now.
The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God,
Yes,
and
sir.
bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
Yes, sir.
Do you look on things after the outward appearance?
Well,
Any man trust himself that he is Christ, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ,
yes.
even so are we Christ.
Yes. And what's the last one down that verse?
Thief cometh not but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I, Christ, am come that they may have life.
Yes, sir.
And that they may have it more abundantly.
And then see, the point I wanted to make point on here, just to create the environment of the subject, is that we're in a spiritual warfare. And I think a lot of people may not understand they're in a spiritual warfare, but we are. We're on it's a daily battle of the enemy, and he's using everything just like the gospel is doing, and concerning trying to preach the gospel, right? Using media, using the gospel, using our brothers and sisters to go and preach the gospel. We're being ambassadors for Christ. The intent of studying the word, meditating on the word, and all those type of things that we try to do. The enemy is using different things too to try to get people to meditate, on the wrong things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also brings in different type of imaginations that we know takes our peace away. Correct?
Amen.
I mean, right. So we know strongholds don't bring peace. Stronghold brings a lot of cases destruction, misery, depression. It started off with pleasure, but then it becomes something of a headache, right? Especially like addiction. That has a tendency to be a stronghold that takes people peace away. They're always trying to find that peace through that drug, And sometimes people use other things, from sex addiction, or even I think about when you talk about even with racism. Like you say, like with Hitler, use him as an example when they were talking about the superior race. And the problem with that was that when Jesse Owens, you remember when Jesse Owens, the history anyway, we remember when Jesse Owens ran that race in Berlin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And did Hitler have peace after Jesse Owens beat that man?
No, he did not.
No, right? Because one of the problems about trying to maintain, if you want to say, somebody would say superiority, one of the problems with that is that you're constantly on the defense. You're constantly on a anger mode or using different types of barriers. And I assume that if you're hanging somebody or burning somebody, I'm talking about go all the way back to the slavery and so forth, or even now, if you're always trying to suppress somebody through violence or through the flesh, I don't think you really have a lot of peace. If you're constantly trying to protect the image and then try to push an image on somebody, I don't think you really have a lot of peace. I think you're constantly worrying about how to keep somebody else down at the same time trying to build your own image up. I think it doesn't bring peace, but yet that's what people do. And it's not just with racism. I think that's in life sometimes where there's somebody always trying to feel like they're better than you, you know? And the only way they can have peace is by keeping you down, talking about you, you know? So what you have some cases really to me is like you got two people. You got the person that's the oppressor, always worrying about you overcoming them. And then you got yourself with what the person is trying to do, that that's always trying to, just a second. What did I say? Don't work on this. I hate my phone. I'm gonna take this timer off because I can't even get to it. Here. There you are. Where are you? Okay. Are you there? You still with her, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you see, like, do you agree that even with, if like, I was talking to one buddy of mine talking about the Black Wall Street thing and everything, and I was saying this, do you think those people that were, even I'm talking about the ones who were actually doing the killing and bombing of the Black neighborhood, do you think they had peace when they were doing that? Maybe
when they were bombing the neighborhood you're talking about, Black Wall Street,
yeah.
I don't think peace was their purpose.
No, it wasn't. But
No.
they were not trying to have peace. They were trying to create chaos.
Yeah.
They may have had pleasure, I guess, if they were killing.
Yes, they did. I believe they did.
Yeah. But it's you can tell, you obviously the people that were being bombed and shoot at, they didn't have no peace that day. And I think that there were some incidents that those people fought back too. So I think another case too was that there was not a lot of peace. The people being shot, the ones who fought back didn't bring peace to the people that had to fight them, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of I think that when people try to oppress people, I don't think they have peace. They may have something else, but I don't think it's peace. In other words, put it this way, whatever was taking their peace away leading up to the event. In that case, we're talking about the jealousy, right? The fact that these people are being successful, right? Mm-hmm. But the image that we gave them is that they're not supposed to be successful. They're supposed to be dependent on us. They're supposed to be, they're not supposed to be successful. And that was taking people's peace away from them, right? To the point that then they actually went into violence.
Yeah, I just thought they probably saw themselves inferior. Mm-hmm. and lacking.
Yeah.
When their society did not bear the fruit of another's.
Of another, right? Of a group that's
not supposed to bear fruit at all, right? So they needed justification.
Yes.
To interfere and to stop, so that they could feel just in themselves, I guess. Right. But that's just, all that is just the downfall of man. It has been since the beginning of time.
Yeah, from the beginning, yes, sir. Which means that the downfall of man is also the ability to maintain peace. Is that a better, have peace in themselves?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I think that's a point. And now I found out that, well, I feel that a lot of people have problems with that, the suicide and the people depression, mental health. Remember, we got a lot of mental health issues going on.
Mhm.
Even, like even that guy that won that guy who won like 6 gold medals before, that tall, sneaky guy, right? He said he had mental health issues, depression and stuff like that. And then
Okay.
we know about the lady Simone, what her name was, Simon, the lady that did the
Simone
vaulting,
Biles.
uh, gymnastics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Simone
yeah. I remember she
Biles.
said, she was just saying, "Hey, look, yeah." She said, "I have, yeah, I can't, I'm not focused right now, and some people trying to put her down when she's saying, I just don't have it right now. I don't have it in me to mentally to perform at the level I normally perform at, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, and now, so we're finding out that we're starting to, our society is addressing that stigma that we have put on people dealing with mental health issues. We're recognizing that it's not something that we could, it's not a, it's not something we can overlook from people or put people down because they may have challenges, right? We have to accept that there's depression. That's why some people kill themselves. Even they talk about. Did you know that I know. I remember. I think one of the panel members one time talked about, well, you got ministers or preachers who have killed themselves, right?
Uh-huh.
And you ask yourself, if we're in this gospel, how could that happen? And I think the question is because they may not have, or they allow the mental struggles of this world to get in their way.
Well, there is a peace when you're walking in the spirit.
Uh,
And when you're in the flesh, that's where the attacks
he does.
are
Yeah.
are successful. That's where the overwhelming, the despair is always, when you look at it in a physical aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know in Philippians, it tells you what to think on,
Yes,
you
sir.
know.
It
So,
does.
you don't think on the things and the cares of this world. You you delight in the Lord. You
Yes, sir.
rejoice in the Lord. And he said, I
It,
mean, and he repeated it. I say
it
again,
does. Yes,
rejoice.
sir.
So if you're
Yeah.
rejoicing in the Lord, then that means your focus is on spiritual, not natural. Okay. And then if you're focusing on the Lord, that means that you are spending time with him and you're spending time in his word so that you know what the word says.
Right.
Then you can move from knowing what the word says to
Come on.
declaring. You
Uh-huh.
decree, you declare those things over your life. And then you will know that the petitions that you request of God, which he's already made available to you, will manifest.
Come on
And
now.
that is the way to continual peace, continual
Exactly.
joy. You you don't focus on anything that is of this world that is going to hinder you from moving in the spirit, from moving toward God. Though I'm not saying that those things aren't going to be in your lives, and they're not going to be obviously stumbling blocks, or they're not going to be trials and tribulations. Those happen.